You say your child's father is white? Hell no, you had a snow bunny crisis. You done procreated with a white dude.
First off, my daughter is black. That's because her daddy's white. She's black.
You a part of that trilateral committee. Like you done laid up with a white devil. You done laid up and had a baby with a white devil.
Daddy wasn't like that.
Was he like John B. or Justin Timberlake?
And that's so crazy because he literally looks like John B.
Okay, you had a snow bunny crisis. You know you're going to hell for that, right?
You said I'm going to hell.
You going to hell sleeping with a white dude, laying down there having a baby with that white devil.
You know what? I'm not listening.
You going to hell. You done procreated with a man. His ancestors, they did the greatest human atrocity ever, and you laid down and got nutted in by one. You going to hell. And I don't feel like you value black life either.
No, that is totally
Where your black baby daddy
that's
at?
totally different. You have an issue with the fact that I have a biracial daughter, a black daughter by a white man. Like, we can just cut this short. I can just, as a matter of fact, we ask for the way.
I'm cool with that. You pay for your own food too. You say your child.
So let's talk about it. All right, I saw this and this was something that I was on to. I am a 40-year-old man. This is something that I mentally noticed with black women dating in my early 20s. Not my early 20s, but my 26 was when I noticed this. And was when I started looking at it this way, to where I said, okay, if she's got a white man on her roster, these are just a few things. These was just a few criteria that I put together from dating women here in Atlanta. So that's an extensive dating history with a bunch of the dichotomy of black women who mostly went to HBCUs, who mostly got educations, and who was having houses and cars and things, and all of them had babies and was baby mamas and all that, right? And what I was starting to really see back then, because this was right before the whole Caden, Aiden, Kaylor, before all the mixed baby names popped up, right? So the mixed thing was happening, but it wasn't all the way jumped off just yet. It was just really kind of starting to happen where the black women were dating out. And really, they're not even dating out. You gotta when women say they're dating, most times they're just fucking, all right? Most times when women say they're dating, they're just fucking, they're just getting fucked on, and they're considering that dating, and they haven't solidified anything. They haven't had the conversation. They haven't sat the person down and said, give them the good old, what are we doing? Because that has to come into play. The what are we doing conversation has to happen, and things have to be squared away before you actually date. And a lot of women, to shield themselves from getting the whore label, it turns into, oh yeah, I was just dating. We were just dating. Yeah, I was just dating that guy. Yeah, we was just. So how many guys did you date? Oh, we're just dating. Maybe 100 guys. Just dated over the last few years, over the last 5-10 years. Just like 100 guys. But just dating. Oh, okay. Yeah, you date a lot. You got a lot of time for dating. You got a lot of time to take a couple hours out of the day to date a new person all the time, huh? Oh, I just like to date. Right. Okay. So listen to those words. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. What I noticed was that if a black woman was dating white men, she was done with black men. This was a hoe that was done with black men. She was not, she had bad luck with black men, and she's decided, I'm better than this. She hasn't decided that she's better than how she acts. She hasn't decided that she's better than how she conducts herself. She hasn't decided that she needs to change. She hasn't decided that she's the problem, that she's the common denominator with every relationship she's been in. She hasn't decided that at all. But instead, she has decided that black men as a whole are the problem. And this goes back to her daddy and everybody else. All right? She could have a father in her life. Most likely she didn't. If she's dating a white boy, this is a thing a lot of brothers don't understand. The black women that are dating these white men usually are not the black women that have fathers in their lives. Why is that? Because successful black people tend to marry successful black people. There's a formula. There's a brother named John Hope, and he put out a formula. He put out a video that had the formula for success. The formula for success was people coming from pre-selection, right? So it was people coming from homes where there's married people in the homes who both have educations and both have careers, right? And then it's like you come from a good environment. You are health oriented, and you come from marrying folks and probably religious, right? That was the formula for success. You look at the women, the black women who date out, usually don't come from that formula. Usually they don't. You have the ones who are the quote unquote tethers, who they're black only in their skin and their complexion. They're not black culturally. Those are a given. The Nigerians, the Ethiopians, the what's the word? What is the word I'm looking for? Starts with a C, whatever. But it's like all these people, these groups of people who are black, but they're black African or they're black Caribbean. They may look at white men as their saviors and salvation, and it's really catching on here in the States too. But those women, they may come from a mother and a father and come from a good, well-to-do family and so on and so forth. But they're so colonialized mentally that for them, white is right and white is salvation, right? So for them, it's totally different. But with black American women, it's a certain thing. It's only a certain type of black American woman that's going to stoop to that level to find a mate, right? And these are the type of women who they're done with black men. Like mentally, they're done with black men. And if they come back to black, they're coming back to black only for somebody to fix the problems that the white man left behind. Only because the white man drugged them for filth. And they have decided all men are the same. So I'm an equal opportunity. I don't like men equal opportunity, but I'm damn sure not going to let these white men drag me. That's the last thing I'm going to do is let white men drag me. That's the mentality of the black woman that sleeps with white men, but then comes back to black men. She finds out the hard way. All men are going to treat her the same. She hasn't come to her, in her mind, she hasn't come to the conclusion, the understanding that she's the problem. In her mind, she hasn't come to that conclusion. She hasn't resolved that within herself to where she can be honest, open, and accountable and say, I'm the problem. Even white men are dragging me. Because a lot of times, once they hit that rock bottom and go for the white guy, and you have to notice this about black women who date white men and black men who date white women. Usually black people who date out of the race in most cases are dealing with the types of white people who are like the lowly of the lowly. These are not the best of the best. These are not the best looking people. They're not the most attractive. These are not the wealthiest. I will say this. I will give black men this. Black men who deal with white women, when they deal with unattractive or fat white women, those white women will be paying all the bills, will be carrying that black man. We know why he's there. We know. He's probably sleeping with all of her friends. He's doing everything he wants to do. He's just having it his way. In most cases, when a black man is dealing with white women, he's usually having it his way. And when he's dealing with unattractive white women, he's really having it his way. You know what I mean? So there's the difference in that situation. But you're not gonna see too many black guys go to the white side and get just played, used, manipulated, ran through by white women. Not in most situations. Most black guys are not gonna tolerate that. But you do have a lot of black women who've got that mindset that white is right, and they're just done. They're done with black men, and they want to be white. They want to have white offspring. And they're gonna do whatever they gotta do to be up under that white man. And if you watch this video, she told you she has a white baby daddy, and she said even though my child is half white, he's still black. But if she was in the face of a white man, do you think that would be the situation? She would be saying, my son is mixed. My son is mixed race. And if there's ever that conversation pops up, she's going to say, my son is black and white. Guarantee you. But when she comes to defending herself, she has to switch positions and pivot and try to do whatever she can to defend herself. But this is why you take women extremely serious with the things they say and tell you. You hold them to those things when they tell you these things, so that you know exactly what type of mindset you're dealing with, and to leave this woman the fuck alone. You understand what I'm saying? Like, take them extremely serious. Give them the respect of listening to what they say and holding them to what they say. In all things. Because that's the only way you can get them the fuck away from you when it's time to get them away from you. That's the only way for you to say, oh, she's on bullshit, and stick to she's on bullshit. This bitch is a bullshitter. Because she just said this, but now it's this, and now it's that, and then it's this, and then it's this. But you can only do that if you take what women say extremely serious. Unless it's going against what you want. When you want what you want, that's when it's time to put what women say in a different place. Women's criticism, women's ideas, women's stuff like that, you listen to those things and you pick and choose from those things. But when it's just general information, when you're just asking a general question and she's giving you her thoughts and her opinions on that, or if she's telling you about her life and herself and her standards and her wants and her desires and so on and so forth, that's when you take it serious. Because they done put thought into that. And they know what they want and they mean what the fuck they say. Anything else is a settlement. And guess what? Women don't like to settle, and they don't like to step backwards. So if they tell you something, and then something happens, and they go against what they told you, as soon as the time happens, as soon as the time comes, they're going to go for what they want. It's that simple. Peace and blessings.